drugstore launches that I'm covering, quite out of character for my channel, but I can't help it. What they're cooking, I'm craving. The drugstore launches have been so interesting lately. Honestly, more interesting than the higher end and luxury launches. So I'm going where the wind is taking me. What is interesting to me right now are the drugstore launches. So that is what I'm going to be covering today. I have even more drugstore launches that have caught my eye, and we're just gonna put it on my face. I'm kind of on like part-time maternity leave right now. I haven't given birth. I'm like twiddling my thumbs waiting to. And I'm just like looking at the new makeup that's coming out and that I have to test, and I want to put it on my face while I'm waiting. So not going to be the most researched video today, but I just want to play with some of this new stuff, maybe give you guys some last minute recommendations. So some things that we have today, Morphe came out with their Buttery Blends brush collection, and these look buttery soft. So I'm gonna try a few today in the application. Essence did a very big base drop of jelly hydrating stuff. I covered these in shorts, but I have not covered these in a long form video. But I'm currently testing the new e.l.f. concealer and highlighter. We'll see how I feel about these new Makeup Revolution launches. Typically they look more interesting than they actually are, but I'll be the judge of that. And we have some new lips from Hard Candy and L'Oreal that I'm gonna feel out for you today. Essence, we know them, we love them, they're cheap. They actually have launched even more new stuff since this collection dropped, but we're gonna focus on their base collection. Coming from Milk Makeup's wallet, they have a whole jelly grip line, which includes a jelly grip hydrating primer, refreshing aloe spray, eyeshadow primer, definitely gonna try that today. I did under eye primer stick. And then also alongside that, it's a lot, it's a little overwhelming. We have the really bouncy. We have the Bouncy Plump little drop here, which has a smoothing primer and a hydrating dewy spray. Not gonna test all of these today because I think it will overwhelm all of the Complexion products. It gets hard to tell what is doing what. So I'm just gonna pick a few of those. I'm thinking we'll go hydrating and plumping for the primer. So we'll do the Bouncy Plump Smoothing Primer, if it wants to come out. Okay, oh, it looks like a little silicone primer. Oh, it feels hydrating, actually. Huh, it doesn't feel dry or silicone-y, actually. It just looked that way. But it has this gel consistency that feels pretty hydrating, actually. I fear we might get some pilling, but hopefully not. It has a fruity fragrance to it, so if you don't like fragrance, you better run. Like, it feels good, it feels hydrating, but it almost feels like something could pill over top. We'll see. Let's put on the under eye primer stick. Why not? Gripping and refreshing. I mean, it's not a bad idea in theory, right? Just get some hydration down before the concealer. And honestly, with the e.l.f. concealer that I'm using today, I didn't love the wear time the first time I used it, so I'm gonna keep a closer eye on the wear time today. But anyways, this does add a nice little pump of hydration under the eyes. And it is a little bit sticky. And the last thing I'll put on my face from this collection, because they felt the need to really point it out here. The new Jelly Grip Aloe Spray. Innovative gel to mist formula. Says, shake me for fun. Oh, interesting. Let's just put this on the face. Like, does it feel like a gel? It is a little thicker. It's not just water. Like, I feel like I need to push it into the skin. Huh. And it is a little stickier. I feel like I am spraying a thick gel on my face, but it has made my hands sticky. I don't know if I like that, but it did prep the skin. This might not be the only one I'm gonna end up using for foundation, but I just need to know. This is the 109 paddle brush from the Buttery Blends collection. It's supposed to be like a spatula cream and liquid foundation brush. And if this is a fail, they did launch 3 other foundation brushes, so we're not short for that. I'm just going to use this to blend out, and I know it's probably better with the liquid foundation, the new Revolution Skin Silk Glow Tint, which looks to be a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I think it will mix well with, if I find it necessary, the NYX Make 'em Wonder Soft Matte Foundation, which is new, which I tested in the last drugstore video. And then also, it might be a nice pairing with the e.l.f. concealer. We'll see. This is supposed to be like a sheer glowy foundation. Okay. You see that glow. Now, my skin is not in its best shape right now. I mean, I've been saying that the whole pregnancy, but I've started getting zits again. I'm very annoyed about that, but it's low-key my own fault because I've been using up all of my skincare. And so I've been replacing it and trying new ones because that's what I like to do, test products for a living. But the new stuff I'm trying is making me break out. Anyways, this is doing my skin 0 favors. This is just emphasizing everything. I like the way that this kind of mushed the product out, but I'm talking about the brush. Okay. Like, look at this paddle brush. This is actually very good for how I'm using it. I like the brush. So this is meant to be sheer coverage wise, and it definitely is. But it's just making me look sweaty and textured. I feel like you need to have young, very smooth skin. Almost like I would wear this as a highlighter or an underlayer. The shade Light Neutral though, quite perfect for me. The Charlotte Tilbury one, I think gives more coverage than this, but it is similar in how I feel about the product, where it does emphasize texture and stuff. So what I'm gonna do, and I don't think this is a lost cause, I actually think it could be very nice to mix and blend with other products that you want to get more of a glowy finish with, but if you just like a smoother look, this isn't gonna be it. So I'm gonna bring in just a little bit of the Make 'em Wonder foundation from NYX. This is a soft matte foundation, and hopefully it kind of corrects things. The shade is a bit light for me, but it'll be okay. I'm just gonna put a little bit where I want more coverage, and I'm gonna try out the 108 brush from Morphe. So soft. So I'm not doing a full coverage layer of the NYX foundation, but I think this foundation excels where that Makeup Revolution kind of failed me. And I think the two together could actually be pretty, and I'm thinking I'm right. So this just took away a little bit of the dew from the Makeup Revolution, and I think it's looking better. I'm gonna do that mix on this side as well, but my skin is still looking really glowy from this product. So actually I kind of like it for mixing with other products, but maybe not necessarily on its own. I just don't have nice enough skin for that. And just a little bit of this new NYX one, which an update, because I did use this NYX one in my last drugstore review video, and it wore okay, but it did look a little makeup-y and dry on my skin. So it's not a top runner of foundations for me for the drugstore, but it is working really nicely with this product. This is a little combo that I will probably never use or wear again, so that should tell you something, but it works for today. I have a nice glowy lighter coverage base. Okay, both products are fine, but I don't love either product. For concealer, I'm gonna use the new $5 e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Concealer. I love their Soft Glam Satin Foundation, so I was so excited about this launch. And I'm gonna use the M133 concealer brush from this Morphe 4-piece set. So I've worn this concealer twice now, I think, at this point. So it's still new to me, it's still in testing. I like the way that it applies, but I'm still in question about the wear time. I only got one, I would say, valuable wear test out of this. The other time, I don't think I wore it long enough. So today's gonna be another wear test. But I remember not super being obsessed with the wear time on this, but not being offended either. Which is how I feel about the foundation. I love how smooth the e.l.f. Satin Glam Foundation is. But you know, it's not super long wearing on me. But for the price point, I can look past it. But I'll keep you updated today. But I think the application's pretty nice. I didn't apply too much. Let me put a little bit on this zit that I have by my eyebrow that I thought was a freckle, but then it got a whitehead and now it looks like this. It became a zit. Anyway, so if you just put a little bit, you get like a medium coverage. I'm gonna see if I can add just a little bit more to get a little bit more full coverage. I've got to be honest, I have not loved the way I've been wearing my makeup lately. I need to do a full face of just products that I like, so that way I can like the way my makeup turns out. Because I've just been testing all of this new makeup for fun, which I love, but the compromise is I don't love all the products. I like this second layer though. This second layer really finished it off, gave the perfect amount of coverage that I'm looking for. Very, very pretty. I like this concealer brush too. It's a bit small, but it's allowed me to get into the crevices of the eye. But this is how it's looking. I think it looks really nice. I've enjoyed the application of this as a concealer. It doesn't knock my socks off, but for $5, I think it's very, very pretty. And then this I thought was really cool from Makeup Revolution. This is their Everything Base Multi-Use Complexion Palette. This is the shade Light. Very pro artist-esque. You can do foundation, bronzer, contour. We have color correctors, blushes, highlighters. Here's the contour. However you want to use it. So I'm going to use this to like touch up around my face, add some additional color. I'm going to continue to use this 4-piece face set for the brushes. Let's just play with this. I know this will make it a little hard to judge what we're using for wear time, but I want to play and I want more coverage on some areas of my face. Anyways. So I think maybe I'm this shade. Close enough. A little stiff. Okay, I feel like it's a little drier than I thought it was going to be. It's not as creamy as, say, the Makeup Forever is the one I think is probably the most popular. I'm going to put some on my nose. You can also warm it up with your finger and then apply it. That's actually making it a little bit of an easier application. I'm not going to do too much in the way of base today though. I will have to try this as a full face at one point, but I already have my base. Okay, I'm going to use this shade right here. This is the M242. And remember, they do have this in different shades. I just kept the light for myself. And it's working out nice. Okay, I'm liking this for bronzer. I'm going to use this shade. We'll just contour under the nose a bit. Down the nose. The shade looks like it has a little bit of a golden glimmer in there. Let's see. It does, and it's not flattering. It's going into the dryness on my cheeks, but you can see that golden highlight in there. I'm just going to top it off with the more flat one. I think that one will be better. And you know what? So long as these creams stay on, this is definitely a good gets the job done product. I do want to try this all over for Complexion to really get a feel for the consistency of the product, because I don't feel it would be fair to fully judge it just yet. But for the correction that I did today and for the bronzer, blush, and shading, I think it got the job done. I don't love this finish on my cheeks, but it gave us the proper coloring that we needed. I'm gonna pop on a little bit of powder. So when I set my face with the powder, I did notice the creams, they kind of faded away a little bit, which is not abnormal, but I'm gonna keep a watch out to make sure these actually stay on the face. I'm not gonna overly set them with powder. I am, however, gonna use the new powder highlight from e.l.f. This is their Halo Glow Silky Powder Highlighter. I picked up the shade Blush Money. If this is looking familiar to you, it's because it looks very much like the Rare Beauty highlighter. I've already done a short if you want to see the comparison. Which one is the $9 one and which one is the $27 one? Because e.l.f. has duped Rare Beauty. e.l.f. just dropped this new Halo Glow Silky Powder Highlight, and it looks very similar to one of my all-time favorite highlighters from Rare Beauty, which is 3 times the price. $27 versus $9. You could literally buy 3 of these and only 1 of these. Picked up the e.l.f. in the shade Blush Money. This is the Rare Beauty in Mesmerize. So you can see the packaging. We'll start off with Rare on top so you can see what we're working with. So silky, so soft. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite highlighters. I have not even touched the e.l.f. yet. The Rare is silkier. It feels a little more creamy. Not that the e.l.f. feels bad. Now this Blush Money shade, slightly more champagne in tone, but very, very close. I do think the Rare has a little bit more reflection. Let me know what you think. Let's do Rare on this side. And you can see why I love it. You can't see where the highlight starts and stops. I will even pop my eyeshadow with this. I do have an eyeshadow stick underneath, so this isn't like the true color, but why not play around today? Rare Beauty, cleaning off my brush. By e.l.f., let's see. I think it applies a little more lackluster than the Rare, but we can probably build it up. I'll build it up if it's a third of the price. Okay? We'll see how it is on the eyes as well. Definitely needs built up a lot more than the Rare. What do you think? Can you tell the difference? Looks wise, very, very similar. Application wise, Rare Beauty applies a lot quicker. e.l.f. definitely needs built up. And I do think the Rare looks slightly smoother, but it is a fantastic alternative. But I do think Rare is superior in formula still. So in my personal opinion, I like the Rare Beauty better. But this doesn't take away from the fact that it is a pretty highlighter, but you don't get as much gleam. It's not as smooth looking as the Rare Beauty, but it is also a third of the price. And as you can see, it still is a gorgeous highlighter on its own. I think it's a fine highlighter from the drugstore, and I would recommend it. Like, isn't that pretty? It's just putting it side by side with, if you ask me, one of the best highlighters at Sephora. There wasn't a close enough comparison. I think the Rare Beauty is better. It is smoother, but this is just fine. Gets the job done. I mean, that looks really good. It's giving 2016 highlighter, but a little softer. I like this highlighter, I do, but the Rare is better. So that's my thought on that. I think it's a good highlighter. You saw in the swatch, you just don't get as much, even with just a little bit of a finger swatch. But it's not like you can't get a glow at all. And I don't have anything for the eyes other than this from Essence, which I think is interesting, the Jelly Grip Eyeshadow Primer. I don't think I'm gonna like this as an eyeshadow primer, but we'll put it on for today. Okay, it's clear. I don't know, I don't think I like this. It's just too wet for me. That's not how I like my eyeshadow primers to be. I feel like it just cleaned off the little bit of color I had on my eyelid from concealer, which I like a little bit of concealer residue on my eyelid. Don't think I like it, and it is a little sticky, so I don't know how powder is gonna blend over this. An eyeshadow stick might be fine, or if you're not really blending, this could be good to stick just like a one and done single eyeshadow all over the eyelid, but I'm not liking it. And then while I'm doing my eyeshadow, I am going to let this sit on my lips, and I'm gonna regret it because I hate these kinds of products, but I can't stop trying them. But Hard Candy is trying their hand at these peel off lip liners. There were 3 shades that they sent me. I'm gonna try Nude Ink today. They say it only needs 60 seconds to work. So let's just do this. And if I hate this, I'm the problem, not the product. But I'm always just looking for that one that changes my mind, and nothing has. Except for the Wonder Skin. I do like the Wonder Skin. Okay, I will report back soon. Okay, let's see if I hate this. I definitely left it on for way longer than a minute. It's a little warm. I can't get this off. I wanted it to be more cool and brown. No! I don't know if that was me or the product. I'm just gonna put one of my normal lip liners on. I need to stop with the staining products because I hate them. I hate them all. And guess what? I'm about to use another staining product. But this one is better. Going back into our trusty Revolution palette. This is the Morphe lip liner in Wifey. Okay, I thought these looked cool and I have tried them and I don't hate them even though I hate products like these. This is the L'Oreal Hyaluron Lip Stain Serum. So they're supposed to have a hydrating top layer but also stain underneath. Let's do Worth It Medium. I did use the shade Worth It yesterday and it did slightly darken my lips, but the color over top disappeared since it was so light very quickly. So let's see. Ooh, I love the mauve shade. And it does feel pretty hydrating. You know, I don't have the best lip condition right now, but that's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit on my lips for a little bit so you can see the staining and how it settles. I do have some dry patches on my lips right now, and I think, you know, some bits are sticking to it, but it's not crazy. I don't feel like it's too patchy, but it can get difficult with deeper colors because there's also like this red one. Ooh, I love this paddle brush for cleaning around here. So for now, this does have that glossy tint over top. We'll see how the stain settles. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my eye makeup. Not part of the video, but I used a little bit of bronzer in the crease, the MAC Holiday Eyeshadow in Sparkle Sparkle. That's still available, I'll link it. Fenty Beauty, their new eyeliner. And then Prada Beauty Mascara. Might pop on a couple outer corners to feel a little prettier, but hold on. Okay, so now that this is sat on my lips, I did have a little bit of residual concealer slash foundation on my lips. And it's kind of, I don't know, gone into the fine lines of the lips and made the lips look patchy. So I'm gonna take a damp, it is a makeup removing wipe, but I'm just gonna lightly rub off the top layer to show you what's underneath, what will come off as time goes on. Do you feel like it's a little patchy? It's just on my dry patches. Should it get a little bit darker, but that's such a me problem. It's actually quite dark, this Worth It Medium. I like this product, but lip stains are so tricky for me because they all just look so dark on me. And with this lip liner is like lighter. I really liked the original Worth It. I'm just gonna put a little bit over top. It's a little lighter, but this is, jury's still out. I like this, it does stain the lips. I like the colors, I think, but I still want to use it some more because it's just gonna take me a bit to sell me a lip stain product. Let me see if there's anything that I want to touch up with my makeup, because lately I have not been loving the makeup looks that I've been doing since I've been so focused on the reviews as opposed, I told you, to products that I like. So what can I do? Because I do want to wear this today. So unfortunately, a lot of today's products are TBD because they're not first impression products that I can really faithfully review here. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel because as I continue to use these more, I will eventually have a speed reviews up of all of this drugstore makeup that I've been testing after multiple wear tests. But first impressions, I think the best thing in today's video, I don't need more time to decide on the new Buttery Blends collection from Morphe. These brushes were phenomenal. I even had a lot of fun with this little spatula brush. The Essence primers that I used, they got the job done. They didn't get peely. They were pretty hydrating. The spray weird. It is a gel in a spray bottle, but it did hydrate and make the skin nice and bouncy. And I even liked the little under eye primer. I don't know if that's going to affect wear time long term, hence the TBD review, but they did hydrate well and weren't too sticky. The Makeup Revolution Skin Silk Glow Tint, it is like the Charlotte Tilbury, but with less coverage and not very flattering if you don't have perfectly smooth skin. Could be interesting to mix with other products. Didn't love the mix with the NYX, but we made it work. I mean, I'm content with my skin today. It is a nice glowy skin look today. I'm liking the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin. I like the application, but I'm still debating on if the wear time is good or not. I do like the highlight. It's not as good as the Rephr, but it is a good drugstore powder highlight. I want to test this more from Makeup Revolution, their Icon Complexion palette. Make sure everything wears long enough, but it got the job done for how I used it. This Essence Jelly Grip, I wouldn't really recommend unless you're doing one and done eyeshadow looks that you want like something more glittery to stick to, but not a huge fan of that. And I'm a hater of lip stain products. I hated these hard candy. I will give them another try, but I actually did like these Hyaluron lip stain serums because they do add something to the lips. They do. I just don't like the stain colors, and that's not L'Oreal's fault. That's just the product style by nature for the most part, but it gets the job done when you just want the color to be there. But then I feel like I look like a popsicle. But I'm gonna continue to force myself to use them anyways. So I will have all of the products that I tested in today's video linked down below for you guys. Keep an eye out. Not sure when my speed reviews will be, but these are being added to the drawers, and if this baby continues to not want to come and be very comfy in my tum-tum, no, I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
It's delicious.